Good afternoon, all of you present here. Welcome to the Devendra Mishra Memorial Lecture 2022. We have assembled here today for the Devendra Mishra Memorial Lecture. This lecture has been instituted by the Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics, whose objective is to make statistics popular among people and to highlight its importance and its common applications in one's daily life. This memorial lecture is an annual event of Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics, providing an opportunity for reflection on the statistics subject. This lecture honors the memory of late Professor Devendra Mishra sir, a great statistician who was head of the Department of Statistics, Patna University, and who contributed his life for making statistics popular in the country. Today we have with us, apart from all other distinguished members, we have two eminent personalities to deliver the memorial lectures, Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad sir and Dr. Vivek Verma sir. So without delaying any more, let us start the program. I request Dr. Amarendra Mishra sir, Director, Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics and former head, Department of Statistics, Patna University, to start the program by garlanding the portrait of late Professor Devendra Mishra sir and kindly deliver the formal welcome address on this auspicious occasion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Priyadarshini. I, on behalf of all of you present at this program, garlanding the portrait of late Professor Devendra Mishra. Dear friends, I, on behalf of myself and all the members of the Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics, extend my heartiest welcome to all of you today at the Devendra Mishra online memorial lecture. Devendra Mishra memorial lectures are organized every year on 6th of July. Professor Mishra left for heavenly abode 17 years back on this very date at the age of 86 years. Late Professor Mishra was a learned professor of statistics and was a pioneer in the field of statistics teaching in Bihar. He devoted his whole life for the promotion of teaching of statistics and making statistics popular among people. He was a brilliant teacher and was very popular among his students. His students are spread today all over the world, and many of them have earned international repute and recognition in their respective fields and have glorified the name of Professor Mishra. Today's lectures are organized to pay our respect and regard to his memory. In past years, the Devendra Mishra Memorial Lectures have been delivered by many eminent personalities, of whom Dr. Ravi Bhushan Prasad Verma of Canada, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, former Deputy Director, IIT Kanpur, Dr. Arun Kumar Sinha, former Vice Chancellor, Patna University, Dr. Markandeya Rai, formerly at the United Nations and presently Chief Advisor, United Nations Habitat and Chancellor, Global Open University, Nagaland, and Dr. Ramashankar, former professor and head, Department of Statistics, Eritrean Institute of Science and Technology, Eritrea, South Africa, and presently head of the Statistics Department at Assam University, Silchar, are some of them. Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics expresses its thankfulness to all such speakers. My heartiest welcome to Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad, former Director, Directorate of Statistics and Evaluation, Govt of Bihar, the key speaker of today's program. He readily and gladly accepted my request to deliver the memorial lecture today. I express my thankfulness to him for this. He has been the student of late Professor Mishra at the undergraduate classes. My heartiest welcome also to Dr. Vivek Verma of the Department of Statistics, Assam University, the second key speaker of the today's program. He has worked at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences for many years and worked a lot in the field of biostatistics. At present, he is busy with many big projects in the field of biostatistics. I am thankful to him for accepting my request to deliver a lecture today. The topics of talks of both the speakers seem to be of general nature and of interest to the common people. I hope you all would enjoy their lectures. The Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics was established 4 years back with its main objectives as first, to make statistics popular among people and to highlight its importance and its common applications in everyone's daily life. Statistics has become the key technology of the modern era, and the day is not very far when the knowledge of statistics would be as much essential for a common man as it is reading and writing today. Second, to impart teaching in data analysis. Third, to undertake projects related to statistical analysis. Fourth, to guide the aspirants of ISS, IAS, and other competitive examinations. Fifth, to conduct some short-term specific courses for researchers in various disciplines such as medical science, social science, commerce, business, and others. I am happy and very much delighted to find you all in such a large number at today's memorial lecture. I find some of the persons who are attending today's lecture are from abroad. They are from Iran, Iraq, Netherlands, Canada, and other countries. I welcome you all from the very core of my heart and express my thankfulness to all of you for sparing your valuable time for attending this program. I once again welcome you all at this memorial lecture. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome address. Now I request Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad, sir, former Director, Directorate of Statistics and Evaluation, Bihar, to deliver his lecture. But before that, I would like to present a brief profile of sir. Sir, Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad is the former Director, Directorate of Statistics and Evaluation, Government of Bihar, and Chief Director, Bihar State Planning Board, Government of Bihar. His contributions to the Directorate for its better and effective functioning are still remembered by people. Earlier, he has worked with several institutes and universities in India and abroad. He got his Bachelor of Science degree in Statistics from Patna University and Master of Science and PhD degree from IIT Kharagpur. He retired from the Government of Bihar service in 2004. He has now settled down in Pune, Maharashtra. Dr. Prasad has written his autobiography titled Biography of an Officer, which has become very popular among bureaucrats. I welcome you, sir, for giving your precious time. Please deliver your lectures.
Thank you very much. Dear Professor Amarendra Mishra and my learned friends, Namaste. Before I proceed, already my introduction has been given. Even then, I would like to repeat that I actually did my postgraduate in statistics from Patna University, followed by PhD from IIT Kharagpur. And then I taught in Indian Statistical Institute. And then Professor C.R. Rao was the director there. And finally, I joined after Pune University, etc. I joined Government of Bihar due to certain personal reasons and became director there. And later on, I worked as chief director also of Bihar Planning in 2004. And in fact, as I remained as Director of Statistics for quite long period in the Directorate of Statistics, Bihar Patna, I was responsible for collecting all sorts of statistics. The main among them used to be agricultural statistics and socio-economic statistics. In fact, I believe it is necessary to arrange short training based on the experience. I am saying this line. It is necessary to arrange short training programs for the officers and bring to them the knowledge and ways and means to collect statistics and their importance. In nutshell, I would suggest that the statisticians have carved out a niche for themselves. Otherwise, they bear the brunt of being a sheer service personnel. I worked with several universities like Pune University, University of Algeria, etc. And even in India, certain institutes, while in Pune also, I used to go to Pune University for delivering some short lectures or some short courses. There were some sort of teachers, because earlier I used to teach in Pune University also, so I had acquaintance there. And I take this opportunity and privilege to deliver this lecture, and I'm really privileged to get this honor to deliver Professor Devendra Mishra Memorial Lecture this year. It is a matter of great pleasure that Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics was established in Patna in a first of its kind in Bihar, and the memorial lecture is organized every year on 6th July. I am sure these lectures must have been delivered by a galaxy of eminent statisticians, scientists and intellectuals. I am trying to follow their footsteps today. That I come from Bihar, it makes me more conscious of this honor. Someone may like to connect my world of statistics to uses and abuses or challenges of statistics in national and state government. I can think of no better subject than to focus on Bihar's response to the usage and techniques and skills of statistics. I would like to add here some very good experience while being a student of Professor Mishra, Professor Devendra Mishra. He used to teach us descriptive statistics And I remember when he was teaching test of significance and teaching us to consult the normal integral table or probability table. I made one mistake twice, and then I used to sit on the first bench. So he came close to me and he said he would wind my ears if I make a mistake again. And in fact, that became something which I always remember, and now it makes me laugh. Yes, that he taught me. He was so affectionate that he said to me like this, and immediately I could correct myself for all time to come. So it is just a small bit that I have said. Now I will come back to that. You see, in statistics, our seniors, particularly the bureaucrats, treat us in such a way that I am inclined to quote the idioms of Mark Twain, who said, "There are lies, damn lies, and statistics." And like that, statistics are born bad. Some are not much good from the start because they are based on nothing more than guesses or dubious data. Other statistics mutate. They become bad after being mangled. Either way, bad statistics are potentially important. They can be used to stir up public outrage or fear, can distort our understanding of our world, and they can lead us to make a poor policy choices. Jibs and harangues are therefore hurled on the statisticians without proper understanding of the subject as a science. We live in a world where citizens need to process daily statistics on GDP, unemployment, COVID-19 cases and deaths, and other myriad macroeconomic predictions. Are statistics and their interpretative analysis sufficiently accurate and enough to support credible inferences? The quantification of important macroeconomics indexes complicates matters yet further. Accurately identifying the unemployment rate or GDP is a hard task. As a result, true global GDP rankings remain obscure. Many a times, statistics is manipulated to serve politician, bureaucratic and personal interests and personal achievements. But it is imperative that a statistical dishonesty has to be kept at bay, and the observed data must remain unpaintable at all costs. I like to narrate so that occurred with me. Planning Commission in 1 year had devised a program where they said those states which have a maximum agriculture production, they will be given extra grant. By chance, our state could not rank to get that grant. I was therefore asked to do some mingling with the data, some fudging with the data, without letting anybody know, so that the grant is obtained by the government. And I straightway refused to do that, and my nickname was therefore Satya Harishchandra. In any meeting whatsoever I used to attend, I was addressed by that very gentle officer as, "Oh, Satya Harishchandra आ गया, ये झूठ नहीं बोलता भाई, सब लोग सुन लो." Evidently, if one overestimates agricultural production, the associated state may be categorized as a buffer state for the year, and later on no grant is given to the state. On the other hand, sometimes in case of shortfalls in agricultural production in the corresponding year, if state needed to procure grain from other states to feed its people, the statistician cannot escape the axe. I am going to put forth another funny way of estimating production of onion in the state by an officer who was not who was not at all aware of the statistical techniques for making estimates. That was about the shortfall of onions during the period when the price rise was too much for the first time. And just I will like to quote in few words only. What he said was, you can expect every gentleman in Bihar to consume at least 2 average sized onions, excluding the children population, because he expected them not to take onion or not to consume that much. So the average weight of these 2 onions multiplied by the whole month requirement gave the requirement, and whatever onion used to be imported, which data we used to get through Bazar Samiti, etc. If you subtract the Bazar, the import, the total onion imported from the requirement, that is our production. It was so easy for him to estimate the production of onions in those days. Anyway, in countries characterized by crony capitalism and corporatocracy, information imbalances are sometimes used to conceal government preference for elites whose disclosure trigger political distrust. Such imbalances camouflage information that could be used to advance justice. Simply put, a government that distorts information tries to capitalize on public ignorance. Statistics can tell a powerful story, but bad statistics can mislead the audience and damage the credibility. While teaching the answers to the field survey, for socioeconomic survey, we usually used to conduct field survey. The pioneer in this field is the National Sample Survey of the Government of India. It used to be almost a distinct body than CSO. Later on, the both have been mixed, and it is now called National Statistics Office. And in socio-economic survey, we used to get certain data. These surveys are repeated every 5 years. Consumer expenditure survey is done for small samples every year, but every 10 years, a full-fledged consumer expenditure survey is done by Government of Bihar along with Government of India. So, otherwise also we used to have our own topic of socio-economic survey in our state, and the answer to field survey because the answer to field survey play very important role in decision making. For the GDP calculation, in the contribution of tertiary sector, we need the data of some unregistered employment like a barber, tailor, labor, etc. These data are not available otherwise. So, supposedly a survey is conducted. For a long time, this survey was not conducted in our state. What happens? We get this data from a state where it is available. Maybe it is the bordering state or even further. But they don't take into consideration the change in the economic conditions, the cultural, social habits, etc. And that data which we use for these laborers and barbers, etc., for calculating GDP, contribution of GDP, contribution towards GDP of tertiary sector, actually is not good. So many a times the user of in addition to this, many a times users of statistics like to reject certain observations to suit their interest. There are many instances when I encountered pressure for discarding unfavorable observations. One can give an example of the use of statistics in medicine. Those who do MS, many a times they have approached me And when a contrary result, contrary to their thinking, prior thinking, or prior thinking that a certain medicine is surely going to inhibit or remove a disease, if any decision comes against this perception of the medical student, he tries to ward off those observations, or he tries to conduct another survey to prove his assumptions that particular medicine was effective. So this leads to misleading conclusions. I would like to narrate the incident when an investigator who, and then about NSS also I would like to add, we used to conduct field training for NSS investigators. We have our own wing of investigators. We had our own wing even today we have our own wing of NSS investigators in each and every district in our state. And training is conducted as depending on the subject of the survey. It happened once that I went to an inspectorate, I mean, inspector of National Sample Service office, and I just entered the office. The investigator sitting there was not recognizing me by any chance. He was filling up some data, some schedules. When I inquired to know what was he doing, he said, "You will not be able to understand, it is our office work." Then he was filling up the data, cooked data I should say. Such results or such data is of no use, because if you feed garbage, only garbage will come out. So this is how the use and misuse of statistics was taking place. The interpretations of estimates obtained from the observations play a very important role. For example, the use of correlation between two variables needed great precaution in interpretation. A common misunderstanding becomes vivid while studying correlation versus causation. Correlation does not equal causation, meaning that just because two variables are related, one variable does not necessarily cause the other variable to occur. For example, consider a data set that indicates that there is a relationship between ice cream purchases versus forest fires. The incorrect conclusion would be to say that the increase in the ice cream consumption leads to more forest fire or vice versa. Generally in the government, the bureaucrats understand the subject of statistics as merely counting the number of living beings in a sample and then calculate the percentage of individuals possessing certain characteristics. These percentages or proportions are then supposed to exist in the population under study without bothering for fallacies of the percentages as a representative of the population in many cases. And the most unfathomable part is their assertion, "My way is the highway." It is therefore necessary to arrange short training. I repeat here because in the beginning itself I have told, it is therefore necessary to arrange short training orientation programs for the officers and bring to their knowledge the ways and means to collect statistics and their importance in data-based decisions. In nutshell, I would only suggest that the statisticians shall have to carve out a niche for statisticians by themselves. Otherwise, they are going to suffer like service personnel only. It is not a science of dentistry. The concept of treating statisticians, the concept of treating statisticians similar to that of a shoe remaining always in foot, howsoever costly it may be, and a cap, howsoever cheap it could be, will go on the head, has to be reversed, and with the concept and utility and importance of statistics. That is all, sir, I had to say today. I think I have gone very far and I have taken much of your time. Thank you very much for lending ears to my thing.
Thank you, Onkareshwar ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your interesting memories and experiences with Professor Devendra Mishra, sir. Your experiences really explains how great statisticians used to be. Thank you, sir, for your informative lecture that was full of examples and instances of statistical problems, which enhanced our knowledge to a great extent. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to request our next keynote speaker on this memorial lecture, Dr. Vivek Verma, sir. He is currently a faculty member at the Department of Statistics, Assam University, Silchar, Assam. He has worked and has been associated with many reputed organizations such as Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata, Institute of Science and Technology, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and Guwahati University. His areas of research are epidemiology, demography, clinical trials, and statistical mechanics. He is the recipient of many prestigious awards. He has more than 30 research papers to his credit, published in reputed national and international journals of statistics. I welcome you, sir, on this memorial, Devendra Mishra, sir, memorial lecture.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon, respected sirs, madam, and my dear young colleagues, and my dear students. Being a statistician, it is a great opportunity and privilege for me to get such a platform, which is full of eminent academicians and great personals. I feel myself honored and blessed to be one of the speakers of the Devendra Mishra Memorial Lecture. Devendra Mishra, sir, as I have gone through his last deliberation and lectures, and today's also, he is a great teacher and inspiration in the field of statistics. And one thing which I want to add regarding the Amarendra Mishra, sir, you have not requested. That is an order for us when a great teacher like you, who offer something which is an inspiration and a learning for us, that platform always enriches us. Thank you, sir, for this belief and this opportunity. The topic which I have chosen for today lecture is that is a virtual and augmented reality in detection and declaration of hypertension and diabetes. Let me tell you one thing that is for everyone. Whatever the topic which I am going to discuss is basically a learning which I have obtained while doing the treatment of my mother. Because that is always be a challenging part for me to understand these clinical terminologies, treatment procedures, their assessments, their tools, and their judgments. Being a statistician, I always try to interrelate whatever their suggestions and my mother's physiology says. And in the today's work, I just want to correlate how the symptoms and the symbols helps a statistician to make a judgment in the clinical decisions. Now I should start with what the WHO says about the India. In the last 16 years, from 2000 to 2016, this is the latest report which is available on the WHO website. It says that in the terms of the cardiovascular disease, which is nothing but a disease that occurred in the heart or the blood vessels that may result to stroke, myocardial infection, which is commonly known as a heart attack, or any kind of varieties of strokes are also there. Many kind of problems can occur that also includes arrhythmia, like many person is already aware about various kinds of disease they are experiencing. It says that in that span of 16 years, the number of deaths because of the cardiovascular disease, which was 1707 in 1000, has increased to 2519. That is 50% increment. Among them, if we talk about how many cases are there or the deaths are there, which is occurred only because of the hypertension, that is says that that's become quite close to the twice of that one, that is 76,000 to 114,000. That is quite a big number. That is a very serious concern. Means over a period of time, we are quite getting that diseases more frequently than that was there in year 2000. What about the situation of the diabetes? We are more confined with the diabetic mellitus, that is a type 2 diabetes, and very famous and known among the common people. It has increased from 126 to 309. That is more than twice. That is of the serious concern. Means where our country is standing and what we can say over the period of time, whether the disease or the experiences of disease is increasing, then what are the components? Being a citizen of the country, we should be careful. Let's start with the fundamental. If it is a situation, then what is my objective? My objective is very much simple and easy to understand. I just want to interrelate how the statistical tools are required to assess or make a judgment among the clinical condition so that we can say how the clinical classification in case of augmented situation mistreated as a virtual reality. Let me explain about why I am using this some of the terms. Clinical classification means when a doctor says whether you have that problem, say hypertensive, yes or no, diabetes, yes or no, or by using certain of measurements. Augmented means when your systolic blood pressure or diastolic blood pressure is on the higher side or your glucose has an increase, then they make that judgment. I just want to clarify without using the tools of statistical knowledge how that virtual reality is treated as an original situation. In that regard, I just want to thank Amarendra Prasad sir. He has well explained use and misuse of statistics. In addition of that, I am just going to explain without having the tools of the statistics how the clinical situation is misclassified. Let us start with the topic of hypertension. First, we should know what is called hypertension. For the common people, hypertension and high BP are quite synonymous words. What they say, if you talk in the common people, they are least bothered about the terminology of hypertension. They will say, "Meri BP badi hui hai." Okay, how they say? Both hypertension and high blood pressure are one or the same thing. Now, but one thing we should know that based on our physical activity, our thought, and our daily routine, our blood pressure is keep on changing. Then what is the meaning of hypertension? Now, in a common terminology, we can say having blood pressure measured consistently above a normal may result in a diagnosis of the high blood pressure. Means if we observe in most of the situation of our body is maintaining a blood pressure level which is above a normal cutoff, then that kind of situation or the persistence that will observe in an individual is treated as hypertensive situation. And since hyper means high, therefore that is called as high hypertension when some of the individuals are like that whose blood pressure is always in the lower phase, means below a normal cutoff or normal level. Such kind of situation is known as hypotension, or in a common sense is known as low blood pressure. Now, I think those who have the problem with the hypertension, they have experiences that figure that is very common. You settle down on a particular chair, maintain a posture while measuring your BP. That is a very common phenomena that is available in American cardiology as well as other fields who are dealing with the hypertensive situation. Now, what are the causes that if we are going to measure our blood pressure, what are the factors that can affect the blood pressure change? Let's start. First, while measuring, if the cuff that is symbolized there, if not properly placed or is not measured in the bare hands, means you have closed your hand or you are covered with something, then in that case, whatever the measurement we are collecting, it may mislead us. Now, if you are in emotional status, like I am suffering from some stress, anxiety, my sleeps are not clear, or I have not properly maintaining my posture, as well as I am very much disturbed. In that case, whatever the blood pressure measurement will be used to assess your thought or the blood level, that may mislead you. That may mislead the doctors to make a judgment about you. Now, they always stick, please don't speak, because while speaking, you put pressure on your blood pressure, on your body. That will also impact your blood pressure. One more that is situation which is given there. Before going for any BP measurement, you should not take any kind of smoking, alcohol or caffeine products before 30 minutes. Otherwise, that will elevate your blood pressure and that may mislead to treat you as a hypertensive individual. If your body temperature is low enough, then in that case your blood pressure will be high. That should also be maintained whether we are in the normal temperature or not. Maintaining the normal temperature is known as the human body measurement. That is called homeostatic environment should be properly maintained. If a person is want to urinate and maintain, and he is not going for the urination and hold it for that one and went for the BP measurement, in that case the blood pressure will always found to be higher. So while going for the measurement, the person should maintain that log that I will empty my bladder and go for the BP measurement. Other than that, these are the common things which we can do, and some of the things which we gain throughout our year, that is our age, body mass index, dietary habit, physical activity. These all components are very much required to maintain your blood pressure and affect the blood pressure always. Not only that, some of the medications like cough and cold medication, certain chronic diseases that may be any kind of like cancer, then heart attack, stroke, or low level of the vitamin D that will elevate your blood pressure. So be careful while going for the blood pressure measurement. Make it clarify in the front of the doctors, because whatever they are going to make a judgment based on your measurement, that may mislead us. Now, the thing is that, okay, we are okay with that, what we are maintaining that label, okay, we are maintaining our knowledge, we are also following the protocol. Then some of the literature says something. Now, how to measure the BP? This is one of the paper that has been published in the Journal of Human Hypertension. Please go through that highlighted text. The 3 measurement of the BP. Okay, it says that the assessment that has been made on that particular aspect, they have used 3 consecutive measurements maintaining 5 minutes gap. Okay, now I have also gone through some more explanation. A group of individual that has been published in the European Journal of Epidemiology, they say that I want to check how the BP is changing. Okay, for that they have also taken the 3 measurement which 2 minutes gap. Okay, this is all about the all individuals who are on a particular age. Now my curiosity increases. That says that what about the child? I found one more study on Italian Journal of the Pediatrics. It says that they want to assess the behavioral change in the blood pressure among the children. The study is also quite curious because they have also used 3 measurements. Now the question that struck me: why 3 measurements of the blood pressure? When I am normal enough, 1 measurement is enough. It is not only the saying of a particular individual. If, as sir has told, I have worked with in a cohort study where I have assessed more than 5,000 clinical reports. That is the interesting part for me. Among that 5,000 reports, 90% of the cases reported only single blood pressure when they go for the assessment. Okay, if single assessment is more than enough, then why they are putting their 3 measurements and maintaining their and losing their times? Then that creates a confusion to me. Oh my God, what happened? Why they need 3 measurements? Okay, if these measurements are required, then what is the use of the statistician? Let's start explaining why this requirement of the 3 measurement. I have used the India's biggest sample survey data. This is the National Family Health Survey, which is the latest one. The recent one is about to come into the market for the assessment of exploration. This is the latest data that is available on the database system. National Family Health Survey for the year 2015-16. That database composite of individuals of male and females who are in the age group 15 to 54, where up to the 49 they are considering women, and 49 to 54 there is an additional males. And total sample size is 7.6 lakhs. Our variable of interest is systolic blood pressure. This is the highest of the blood pressure measurement, and the lower part of the blood pressure measurement is the diastolic blood pressure. We also inquired whether you have clinically assessed by a doctor who declared you as an hypertension, or you are on a hypertensive medication. These all questions are there which I have used. The question why it is required? Okay, because if a person started a study, they have to define how they are going to assess the hypertension. I am using the same definition which WHO is adopting for India and a globe wide. If your mean systolic blood pressure is greater than 140, okay, millimeter in mercury, or mean diastolic blood pressure is above 90, that is millimeter in Hg, then it is called as hypertension. The word mean is of interest because we are the statistician, we are very much friendly and very much adopted with that word. Mean means at least one measurement is there, means more than two or more than two is also possible, but at least one measurement is there. But that is partially true. If a person is on medication, then this definition is not going to help you to assess whether the person is hypertensive or not. Therefore, they have also added one more clause. Either your systolic or diastolic is above a particular cutoff, else you had been assessed by a physician who declared you as an hypertensive. We are going to use all this information. Now, I think up to that one, that is clear. What I did, I have tried to make a flow chart based on the description which is available in terms of measurement, in terms of their history. Okay, a total of 7,60,443 people, they were initially asked whether any doctor told you are hypertensive. Only 9% of the people say that yes, that is only 68,000. Yes, we were told or declared by the doctor that we are hypertensive. Interestingly, 91% of the people are unaware about their hypertensive status. Let's start with the first, those who are unaware. In the single measurement, the doctor did what he did. He, among those who are unaware, he asked he to go for the BP measurement and found 14% of the individual who are unaware and are hypertensive. That is called as newly detected hypertensive people. Okay, and out of them, out of 91%, 86% are there who are non-hypertensive. Means they are neither they know nor they have any hypertensive issues. Now, the first part is clear. For based on the single measurement, we have assessed that one. Now, what about the hypertensive people? We again ask, are you on the medication? Then it says only 33% of the people who were declared by the doctor as a hypertensive were on medication, and 67% are non on the hypertensive medication. Then the question is about efficacy of the drug. When I am on the drug, then whether my hypertensive situation has been controlled or not. Interestingly, based on the single measurement, what we have found, only 58% of the people got controlled because of that diagnosis, and 42% will remain hypertensive. Okay, and among those who have not medicated, when I measured there, that single measurement, what is the systolic and diastolic, I found 27% where remains hypertensive, only 73% recovered. Now, what is our interest? First, there is an increment, and I request all of you to keep notice on this percentage. That newly detected is 14%, uncontrolled is 42%, and remains hypertensive without medication is 27%. That is a single measurement assessment. Now, what I did, I used two measurements. Okay, then in that case, the study gets changed because the remaining situation is same. Now, what I found, those who were 14% in the single measurements, newly detected hypertensive, they have reduced to 11%. Those who were controlled, uncontrolled at 42%, now they have reduced to 39%. And where their hypertensive medicines, well, 32% remained after not taking the medication, that has reduced to 23%. Now, the question about the third measurement. Now, what I have seen, those who were 14% hypertensive based on the single measurement, new cases, they have reduced to 9% only. And that those who are 42% based on the single measurement, reduced to 39% on the second measurement, now become 36%. Only 36% of the people who got treated with the hypertensive medicine and are uncontrolled. Whereas in the single measurement assessment, 42% are there who are diagnosed with the hypertensive medicine and are uncontrolled. Now, what about those who are not on the hypertensive medicine? The number was quite less, now has increased to 21%. Isn't it? Now, this, if I want to summarize these all things, then I come with the two major findings. Total hypertensive people based on the single measurement is 17.58, whereas in terms of 3 measurement, that has reduced to 12.27. That is only about 5.3% of the reduction. That 5.3% is not about around 41,000 people are newly added to the hypertensive group because of the single measurement. Whereas if I talk about the efficacy of the drug, go to the lower part, then I found that 53% of the people were found to be effective. Effect of the medication is good enough in 57% if I go with the single measurement. But if I go and extend for the third measurement, that has increased to 64%. Now what we can conclude? The prescribed medicine is good enough if we go with this 3 measurement, and we can say 64% of the people get relaxed or get treated properly if they are following the guideline of the clinician. But what about those? Augmented 1 and 2 measurements made additional 5.3%, that is 40,000 people added to the hypertensive group because of the single measurement. If they have used 2 measurements, then 15,000 people will be added to the hypertensive group. That is of the serious concern. Means without having that hypertensive characteristics, because of the less number of measurements, a person get always a risk of get hypertensive medicine. So the person should be very careful. What about those who are on the medication? When a person come to know that I have given you the medication on a single measurement, they assess, no, your BP is not in your control. And they either increases the dose, or even you are the good health, you have to bear that medication and increase the duration of your medication. That is a chance of misleading treatment direction can also be occurred because of the less number of observation. So those who are in the group, in the hypertensive group, they should be very careful not to rely on the single measurements. That's why the statistics is there. That is also says on increasing the number of observation, the consistency of the measurement will also be maintained. This is the first part of my work which I want to explain and that I have observed. At the end of my entire presentation, I just want to thank Professor Amarendra sir, Director DIMS, Sri Ajit Kumar Sinha sir, Managing Director DIMS, Dr. Rama Shankar, Head Department of Statistics, Assam University, Silchar, and all my collaborators, Professor Dilip Chandranath, former Vice Chancellor, Assam University, Dr. Gagan Gunjar, faculty, Rims Raji, Miss Masuma Khanan, PG student, and overall, that is a demographic and health survey, DHS, and Center of Disease Control and Prevention for providing me the access of the data. With this all, I just want to thank all the organizers and my dear learners and listeners for their patience and their kind attention. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for an enlightening presentation on effects of augmented and virtual reality in healthcare sector with detailed research on the problems of hypertension and diabetes. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences with us. Your work would be especially helpful to those doing research in this area. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable inputs. Now I request Shri Ajit Kumar Sinha, sir, Managing Director, DMIS, to share his experience on this auspicious occasion. Sir.
Thank you, Priyadarshini. Good afternoon to Professor Amarendra Mishra, Director, DMIS, Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad ji, former Director, Directorate of Statistics and Evaluation, Govt of Bihar, Dr. Vivek Verma, faculty from Silchar, Dr. Rama Shankar Prasad, HOD Statistics, Professor Arun Kumar Sinha ji, ex-Vice Chancellor, Patna University, and all other participants and viewers. I welcome you all on this occasion on behalf of Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics, which has been organizing Devendra Mishra Memorial Lecture each year. The institute was established in the year 2018
with the objective of providing teaching, research, service, and consultancy in the subject of statistics. Many more things have been said by Professor Amarendra Mishra in his welcome address. We started our first batch with about 15 students in 2018-19. Students were mostly from colleges of Patna University, Patna Women's College, Magad Mahila College, Science College, and BN College, where teaching of statistics has been started during the tenure of Professor Amarendra Mishra when he was Dean of Science, Patna University. After having 3 batches, the number of students being more than 50, we could not pursue the studies due to sudden spread of pandemic of corona, and we had to abandon admission of further batches. The students who were taught at DMIS did very well in their university examination of statistics in Patna University, bagging almost all the top positions. So it was very encouraging for us to go ahead with the studies, but as there was complete lockdown in Patna due to corona and all the colleges and universities were closed, we had to go by the decision of the government, and our institute remained closed. This was very disappointing and disastrous for our institute, and good students of statistics who were always inquiring as to when the new batches will start could not be helped. During this period, faculty members met many times and decided that at our age, we should not take chances as cases of corona were on the rise. At best, we can think of holding classes online. Hence, I would like to request all the faculty members and others, associated members, to consider this option of starting online courses in statistics from a convenient time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your message. Now I request Dr. Ramashankar, sir, Head Department of Statistics, Assam University, Silchar, Assam, to please present the concluding remarks and vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Priyadarshini Singh. So once again, thank you to all the presented here, my respected teachers, my colleagues from India, my colleagues from abroad. In fact, I was watching closely some of my colleagues from abroad have joined, like Jahra Khalid from Iraq, University of Iraq, Then Dr. Teki Asihun Leonida from University of Twente, the Netherlands. In fact, he's going to retire this year in the month of August. So, and from Canada, and one from Pakistan and one from Egypt. So, all of them, thank you for joining that. Now, before going forward, in fact, the lecture, this given by Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad was very wonderful, elaborate, extensive, and I think useful for the young students to learn something and think over this one. In fact, the topic was usage and misuse of statistics in government. And we all know that sometime due to some hidden agenda or some ulterior motives, most of the times governments are misusing the statistics. And in fact, we all statisticians are responsible for that one. In fact, he has given the data, the examples from agriculture production, industry, government departments, and he has given some underestimation and overestimation of those data. And what was the gist of his lecture was that, and as per I understood, and I think we all should agree, but that most of the times we are either deliberately doing this one or we have some hidden agenda. And in fact, most of the times it is happening unknowingly when we are not aware that whether the population from where we are getting the samples are as part of our objective. So then definitely we are going to misuse it. Then how the samples are collected, then what was the sample size, how the analysis has been done, and how was the interpretation. In fact, most of the times I used to discuss with my colleagues and students that the basic purpose behind the misuse of statistics in any field of knowledge are the two, between the two, that intention and attention. That is, what is the intention behind the attention? Most of the times we are observing the attention, but we are not seeing the intention. The same thing is happening nowadays in the government departments and many more departments, that we are just following the attention of the governments or the attention of the offices, but we are far away from the intention behind the attention. The moment as a statistician we understand the intention behind the attention, then we can work as a check and balance for that. So that we have to do. So once again, I thank you very much to Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad for nice presentation and some valuable insights. And I am sure that most of the think over this one, they will carry forward and they will try to see it in future that how to control the misuse of statistics. Thank you, sir. Now the next lecture was Dr. Vivek Verma, who is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Statistics, Assam University. The topic was about the hypertension and diabetes. It was beautifully explained with some of the causes, its effect, its treatments, and what were the challenges from the person who is facing this one and from the doctors who are examining. So due to that imbalances, that is, most of the times as a patient we are ignoring that one, or sometimes mistreatment is given by the doctors, that is creating a lot of problems. He has explained some important terminology from clinical points of view, which will be useful. And in fact, he has used the one word, in fact, I like, and most of the times whenever I will sit with my respected teacher and my PhD guide, Professor Amarendra Mishra sir, and I always used to say that I think our thinking has a major role to to play to deal with most of the problems, and Vivek was talking about the thoughts. So here I would like to elaborate to give a combined idea about what Dr. Onkareshwar Prasad said about the misuse of statistics and what Dr. Vivek Verma was telling about the two hypertensions and diabetes that it causes, impacts diagnosis. In fact, as per my experience and what I learned from my respected teachers during my student's life and during my research from Patna University, and after my extensive data collection and interaction with the people, I have come to the conclusion that whatever the problems we are facing at the present level in the world, whether it is in the government sector, in the medical field or education field or anywhere, that is happening due to the variation in the 6 factors. And what are the 6 factors? That is the way we think, the way we see, the way we listen, the way we speak, the way we feel, and the way we do. If we introspect ourselves, or if we go for the inspection of the situations, then due to variation among these 6 factors are the cause of that. Even those government officials, whether at the lower rank or the higher rank, who are misusing the statistics to hide their intention, are doing due to the variation of these factors. The moment that they understand that what they are doing, it has a huge impact, and in the future it will be known to the people, definitely they will not do. So here, my personal request to all the senior faculty members and the teachers that please come forward. We statisticians have a major role to play in the society to give a proper direction and make it a better place. Once we teach our students, once we explain them the beauty and the sense of statistics, definitely they will work in a better way to minimize the problems of the society. So both the lectures were elaborate and very good. And once again, thank you, Dr. Vivek Verma, for elaborating it. Now the time is that I would like to thank my respected teacher and guide, Professor Amarendra Mishra sir, to start the Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics after his retirement. In fact, we all the students were requesting him that now you are retiring, and the society is expecting much more from you after your retirement, and so we should have a platform where we can interact, and young generation should imbibe your good qualities, not only in the statistics, the way you present yourself as a human being, the way you motivate the students, the way you clarify the concepts, and the way you have understood the sense and the beauty of our statistics, we young generation need it. And thank you, Mr. Sir, you have accepted and you have done very well. And then I thank Ajit Kumar Sinha ji. He has given the platform and he was so enthusiastic to give his 1 floor of the house to start this one. And I can say that although he was not in the teaching department for several years, but I can say him from the bottom of my heart that he has a sense of teaching profession and he knows the value of the knowledge. So he was very much ready to sacrifice his 1st floor of the house to start the Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics. And for that, I can say that Ajit Kumar Sinha deserve many, many thanks for that one. Then some of my teachers are present here. say thanks to them, like Professor Arun Kumar Sinha, Professor Anchala Kumari, then Dr. Vinod Kumar Pandey, Professor Srikant Singh, then some of my senior colleagues from the department, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Jha from NEHU. He is presently heading the department, North East University, Shillong. Then Dr. Anwar Hassan from University of Kashmir. He is presently the head of the department. Then Dr. Amit Kumar, Dr. Kumar Satendra from Department of Statistics, Patna University. Dr. Jitendra Kumar, Dr. Ravi Ranjan Sinha, Dr. Dilip Kumar, he is I think the director of the Population Research Center, Patna University. Dr. Ravi Shankar, and many more. If I forget their names, some of my students from the department, some of the research scholars from the other department, like I'm observing Masuma Khatun, Gitanjali Pradhani. Thank you all for listening this lecture, and I feel that such lecture will give us a proper direction in the future, and definitely as Ajit Kumar Sinha sir has given his request to us, and Professor Amarendra Mishra sir is always ready to render his services. In future, I am hopeful that Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics will come out of with a proper plan how to train the young minds. In fact, here I am observing, I am really grateful that Professor Arun Kumar Sinha sir is here. The way he taught the sampling techniques in Patna University, I always tell to my students in the department that nowadays we young are not teaching in that way. So even I will request Professor Arun Kumar Sinha sir to start something online things so that the young mind should get the training. Even Dr. Anchala Kumari madam is there. Still vividly I remember the way she was teaching us design of experiments, a stochastic process, and I really love her teaching. In fact, Professor S.K. Singh Srikant sir has taught us many good concepts of order statistics, non-parametric test, sampling distribution. So my request to all my senior respected teachers, please come forward and give us a direction. In fact, you have to give your command that yes, what we young people have to do. Because what I am observing that day by day, the sense and beauty of statistics is losing its importance. Because as a statistician, most of the times we are thinking that our job is just to teach in the class and then come and sit in the home. But I feel that no, as a statistician, we have to go beyond that one. In fact, it is we who will always talk with the facts, with the data, and it's our job. Our job is that we should always prescribe the government and the higher authority where they are misusing the statistics with the facts that no, what you are doing, it is not correct. We have this plan and please go ahead with this one. Then only we can think for that one. And I'm sure that the day we as statisticians decide that no, hereafter we have to train our students in such a way that they should coordinate the 6 points that I informed, that thinking, hearing, seeing, speaking, listening, and feeling, and that person will definitely be bold enough to stop the misuse of statistics. And the day we are able to stop the misuse of statistics, definitely from that day, the human being will be more happy and more elaborate. So with this message, I once again thank you, all of you. And I think now I would like to hear from my respected teachers, Professor Amarendra Mishra sir and Professor Arun Kumar Sinha sir, to guide us that how we can do better for the society using statistics. Sir, please. Hello.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, Ramashankar. Thank you very much. So, we are always there You know that myself, Dr. Arun Kumar Sinha, and all other teachers in the Department of Statistics, Patna University, they have devoted their life, whole life, for the teaching of statistics and for statistics. But the fact is this, that now we have handed over everything to your generation. Now you people should come forward and take over. So you said one thing that statistics is being misused. You are very much correct. Statistics is being misused, especially by the government agencies. And this makes this belief of people in statistics. This is why they think that statistics can prove, statistics can disprove anything. So this should be removed. And you know, you have been the part of the Devendra Mishra Institute of Statistics. One of the main objectives of the institute was to make statistics popular among people and to remove all these confusions that common people generally have about statistics. I think that if you ask me to name a single subject which has been so heavily abused, on which so adverse comments have been passed, I would say it is statistics. But still but we should be encouraged that now the days are over. Now people have started realizing the importance of statistics. This is what I have felt. And people have using statistics, they have started realizing the importance of statistics, and statistics is becoming popular day by day. Now our task is to make people aware of the statistics and the importance of statistics in everyone's life. So when you are there, Dr. Vivek is there, our senior colleague Dr. Arun Kumar Sinha is there, Dr. Anjala Kumari is there, Dr. Srikant Singh is there. Let us join and let us sit together and let us think over it. Let us have a future plan for it, how to make statistics popular and how to remove this misunderstanding about statistics. So we can do it, and I hope that we would meet in future and we would do something for it. Thank you very much. I'm very much thankful to all of you. From the core of my heart, I express my thankfulness to all of you, and I express my thankfulness to Dr. Priyadarshini, who has very beautifully conducted this program. Thank you. Thank you very much.